Welcome to the Chosen One podcast show. My name is Sophie. I am a manifesting generator 1-3, and I'm super passionate about a lot of things. I love fashion, branding, human design, healing, channeled content, jinkies, and everything business and mindset related. I called this podcast show the Chosen One for a reason because I truly believe that as MGs, we are here to challenge the world to do things differently, more non-linear and with lots of playfulness. So if you are an MG like me or you like my MG energy, you are here at the right place to learn exactly how to live a MG life with zero limits.
You are the chosen one.
Okay, loves. So today I want to record an episode about my specific pearl line in the pearl sequence of the Genekeys. And the Genekeys is actually a system channeled by Richard Rod, and it's like something that sort of like came to me after I got to learn human design. And if you don't know what the Genekeys is, please feel free to Google it. I am not a star in explaining I'm not a star in explaining it's just a system which really like gives me, it's another tool that I use to sort of map out my life and understand my life purpose and my life mission, and just the way I'm designed on a deeper level. I truly believe in essence that all systems are just tools that we can use to sort of understand ourselves better. And since I'm a 1-3, 1 is the investigator, 3 is the experimenter, I truly love investigating these things. There's like a big part of me that just loves to understand how we are designed as people, how I'm designed as a specific person, but also like I really love diving deep into this stuff. Uh, like for one line, you always have to be a little bit conscious of the fact that sometimes you can sort of like over investigate. It's when we are not aligned and when we're like looking for that security, then we tend to stay too long in the investigation part. But I feel like I got a pretty basic trust in the world and the universe, a pretty solid relationship with my guides and with God, and um, there's always room for so much improvement, but I do feel like there is this solid ground, and the investigation just makes it like more exciting for me. It's like I go deeper every time, right? So currently I'm like investigating the pearl sequence again. I started investigating that in May 2022, but at that time I was at a different place in my life than I am right now. At that time I was at a more insecure place. So the frequency of which I was investigating the pearl sequence was from a less aligned place. So I thought it would be interesting to like start re-investigating the pearl sequence from this new frequency I'm currently at. And it was actually triggered by a question presented to me by the Human Design for a bonus that I added to the Art of Responding course. So I added a bonus to the Art of Responding course that the people who signed up in this specific period, I would do like a pearl sequence reading for. And I'm currently still creating it. Like the readings, I have sent it out to some of those people. Some of the other people will still get it. I always wait until the perfect aligned timing to send those things out. I really try to not do those things from a mind perspective. Like, okay, I promised it, so I have to deliver it on day one. No, I promised it, so they'll get it somewhere in the 4 weeks, because the Art of Responding course takes 4 weeks. And in that period, I will send it to them in the perfect aligned timing. And this is something I really it's a skill that I'm learning, right? I'm learning to really do things in the divine timing, to not force myself from all the shoulds. And that really gives me a lot of freedom in my business. It's always trial and error. It's always like investigating, where am I overgiving? Where am I ignoring the freedom that I actually have in my business? And where am I actually answering shoulds where I really shouldn't, right? So this is always an interesting game for me to always like investigate, where am I doing that? And especially the weekends, I tend to use that to sort of close off all of my energy leaks and just really investigate, like, okay, wait a second, where am I like detouring a little bit from my design? Where am I detouring from the things that light me up? Where am I starting to do things from a should frequency? And where can I let go of that, right? Because sometimes, as an emotional authority, sometimes something starts off as something that I'm super excited about, but then after doing it 5, 6, 7 times, I'm like, okay, I'm not liking this anymore. And then, as emotional authorities, we are really invited to then listen to that and be like, okay, in this certain moment, I'm not feeling it, so I'm letting it go. And maybe it will come back at a later moment, right? So, really honoring that divine timing. And something interesting happened because, like I said, I'm a 1-3. So, the 3 in me is the investigator. And I like to also sort of like test out um, how to really sell in a way that is truly aligned to my design, right? And since I'm only human and I don't have the answers to everything, I love to experiment. So sometimes I'll just like send out an email just for the sake of investigating, how does this land? Does this sell? And if it doesn't sell, like what then gets triggered inside of me, and how sort of can I like investigate then, or use that to understand more about my specific design. So the other day, this last Thursday, I sent out an email about a Jinkies, the Jinkies Pearl Line course. Actually, it's something I'm thinking about creating. Since I'm creating these bonuses for my current Art of Responding clients, or for a part of the Art of Responding clients, I had this idea like, oh, maybe it would be interesting to make a course out of it. Now, if you are in my Art of Responding course, you know by now that we only move forward on specific ideas like that if the human network actually shows us the green light, right? So once we get that intuitive hit that totally counts as something to respond to, we then need to inform. And the informing lets us know if it's then a green light to move on with the ID. So the first thing I did to investigate if I could get a green light was by sending out that email. And I got some green lights on it, like not full green lights. I would say maybe orange. Let's put it that way. I got some orange lights. So today I really figured like, oh, this would be interesting to maybe record an episode about the Pearl sequence and how I am currently using it and how I'm using it to investigate like what my true relationship with money is. So if you go to your Pearl to your Jinkies profile, you will see the Pearl. Like you have different circles, and one of those circles is the Pearl line, and then the second number, that's actually your specific number. Okay, so this is where it becomes interesting, because I am a fourth line, and the fourth line is the line of charity. Okay, you really need to understand that every single line, like there are 6 lines, so you're either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. They all have their own specific relationship with money. Okay, so it's not a fixed thing that everybody loves to give, that everybody is designed to give. I'm really designed to give. I am a giver. I am like my whole relationship with money or abundance is charity. So the people who are close to me know this, right? When I make a lot of money, I give away a lot of money. Like if I have like family or friends that are like at that moment, like they have less money than I do, then I just love giving them money or buying them things. I just want everybody to like really enjoy the fruits of money. So charity is a big thing for me, and not only in the very physical sense of giving away money, but money also allows me to like give. It allows me to unconditionally give. But this is where it becomes a little interesting because we are very conditioned, at least in the online space, that we have to be sort of careful with how much information we give for free, right? So a lot of people, when they look at the amount of information I provide for free to my clients or to the people who follow me, are like, oh my God, Sophie, you are over giving. So this is where it becomes very subtle and very interesting because now I am actually invited to look at all the things I'm giving and to see from which frequency am I doing it. So if I am giving because I am just lit up by the thing that I want to give, then it's truly aligned to my specific pearl sequence, right? And through my human design, to the way I am designed, right? And to my human design chart as well. But once I start giving because I feel that could get me a specific outcome. So once it shifts from unconditional to conditional, it is no longer in line with my pearl sequence. At least this is how I translate it for myself. So for me, it's always like a balance, and it's always like there's always this invitation to really look at myself every time over and over again and see where am I doing things from a frequency that is not aligned to my design and is not aligned to the way I have been designed to make money. It becomes even more difficult actually, and maybe we should maybe stop saying it's difficult because that's a condition thing as well. But when it comes to money, it does become a little bit more difficult because when it comes to money, we are also very conditioned in specific ways, right? We are taught that money, that we are really, that we need money in order to survive. And yes, that is true. We do need money. And as a fourth line, I actually do need money. I need money so I have the oxygen to actually unconditionally give, okay? For third line, for example, if you are the third line, you're all about like the joy, right? Celebrating. So the third line also really needs money, but it needs money in order to also to give, but from a different frequency than the fourth line. The third line really does it to celebrate, to sort of uplift the experience of human life. So they'll spend it way more on material things, for example. They go out and buy a boat so that everybody gets to enjoy the boat, or they go out and buy an expensive car and then takes their friends on that car ride to like increase the joy of those other people. So as a third line, it's very important that whenever you make money, you also always investigate where am I actually using it to increase the joy of others, right? Then you have the one line, that's the simplicity line. There's it's a very interesting line as well because the first line really doesn't want to. The first line, in my humble opinion, a lot of the times have a difficult relationship with money because they don't really want it or need it in an extensive in large amounts. And then once they do, it becomes a little bit of difficult for them because they're like they're not, they are, it's not a matter of being designed to have a lot of money or not a lot of money. It's really like, where do you need it for? And the first line really doesn't need it for anything else than to live a simple life. So whenever they have enough of that money for first line, then it becomes interesting to investigate, okay, what do I do with all the like all the extra money, so it doesn't become a burden to my true task of living a simple life. So that's very interesting. I know a couple of people who have the first line, and like I can pick out first line people right away. They're very beautiful, and but they have a very specific money energy, in my opinion, as far as I can pick out the one lines. And then you have a sixth line, which is a very complicating one to explain. I still sort of have to figure out how to explain the sixth line. The sixth line is really about your relationship with nature and how you can, like for six lines, abundance just is. They don't have to try. It just is. And it's just like they are actually designed in a way they don't actually even need money. They are so far ahead that they don't even need money. But that's a complicated one as well, because we do live in this physical world. So the sixth line is really invited to really create abundance in a way that is truly aligned to nature, and to really be careful to not force it. And then maybe you're like, okay, but shouldn't anybody not force it? Of course, we all have all the six lines in our energy field, but like one is more potent. And for the sixth line, for them, it's like super, super important to be careful to not to force it. For me, for the fourth line, for example, gratitude is a very interesting thing. So for me, one of the questions I ask myself today is like, how can I allow in more gratitude? How can I enjoy or see more of it is what I'm doing? Because I see, when I look at my energy field, I see somebody who gives a lot, but who's also invited to sort of step back a little bit and actually let it soak in the amount of things I'm giving and the amount of impact it's making on people's life. And I have a tendency to overlook that. And the overlooking of that part is actually limiting the money resources. So I know if I want to like increase my money level to the next level from where it's at currently to the next level, I'm really invited to look into that and really see like, where am I like not fully letting in the amount of like the amount of change I'm actually provoking in other people's life. I really do think that I have no idea. I have no idea. I just go, and I really do not fully understand the immense impact I make on people's life. And I remember when I did live events in 2018 and 19, I had people like coming up to me and like hugging me and asking me for autographs and like telling me all those amazing stories about how one podcast show truly like changed their whole complete life. And I think maybe I need to hear those stories a little bit more. Maybe that would help me. I don't know. Or maybe I just like need to open my heart up a little bit more. I'm like contemplating on that question, like how can I allow in more gratitude into my life? And then I'm not talking about the conditioned gratitude, like making a thank you list. I mean, we can all do that, but that's from a mind space. I want to do it like from my sacral and from my heart space. So I'm really investigating like, how can I even open up my heart even more and soften my energy field around my heart area even more, to let in the gratitude and the impact and the magnitude of the work that I'm doing. Because I feel that like doing that would so benefit my energy, but also the energy of all the people that I impact. Because like, if you give somebody a present, right, and then that person is like, or like, no, let me give you another example. For example, when you see somebody and you give them a compliment, and that person is right away like, oh yeah, thank you, but yeah, of course I did that. Like they're not really truly accepting the compliment. For you as a giver, it's like less. It feels like your gift of giving that compliment is not really received, right? So when I turn that around, and when somebody actually tells me, like, Sophie, the thing that you did for me was really impactful, and when I'm not fully letting that in, I'm actually not fully honoring and receiving the gift that I'm getting back from the people that I help. So I feel like I'm sort of next level invited to look into that part, to the gratitude part, and how can I really allow in the magnitude of my current work even more, so that I don't always feel so rushed to move on to the next thing, which is really a MG quality, right? That we always want to move on to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. And that is aligned to our energy field in a, like, to a certain extent. But when it becomes too hasty, it's not aligned, right? So we are really invited also as manifesting generators to really like sort of like go through the full cycle of the thing that we are doing, and to not really move on to the next thing too fast. We really want to see it through. And they're showing me a circle that as manifesting generators, we tend to like start something, and then once we are at a quarter, we already like escape the circle and move on to another circle. And they are really inviting us to, yes, it is perfect to go and move on to all those different circles, but try to like finish the circle. And it doesn't mean that you, like, if you, for example, go through a course, it doesn't mean that you have to finish the complete course, but you do want to wait until you're at that energetic point that you completely finish the circle of that full energetic experience of the thing that you started. And I feel like I'm really invited into that right now, because I am creating a beautiful course which is called The Art of Responding. I am serving a lot of beautiful souls with the Art of Responding course, and I feel like I'm really invited to really like stay on this circle for a while and really fully go through the whole circle, the whole energetic circle, and really see like how can I really fully live and share the gift of the art of responding to my fellow manifesting generator sisters. So very, very interesting. I hope this helps you in your process, that it resonated with you. And for me, it's just very important to share these things. It's a part of my informing strategy. My throat chakra needs to express themselves, and I always say that in the Art of Responding course as well, how important it is for us to really honor our throat chakra and really express in the most authentic way, because once we stop doing that, everything slows down in our business. And once we truly understand the power of the art of informing, so the course is called The Art of Responding, but it's actually the art of responding and informing. So on my sales page, I believe I still have the art of responding and informing. It just sounds a little bit easier to say the art of responding, but in essence, the whole course is about the art of responding and informing. And I feel like the art of responding is very, like, people just don't understand what that means. And then the art of informing is a strategy that is very overlooked as manifesting generators, because as manifesting generators, we are being taught that our strategy is to respond. And yes, we are, like, that is our primary strategy. But as soon as we find a thing to respond to, we then are invited to move on to the art of informing, because we then move from the generator to the manifester. So these are all things that I explain way more in depth in the Art of Responding course. The course is just available on my website, so if you want to explore it, you can just go there. I have all the information there for who it is, what you're actually going to learn in the Art of Responding and Informing course. It's a 4-week course. It's a beautiful course. It's very aligned. It's very the thing that I get back most from the current clients that are in it is that it gives them like their sort of like a full permission pass to be themselves. That's like the main thing I hear people say. And since energy is like everything, right? Once we come to that place that we fully feel like, fuck, this is me and I'm allowed to be me, yeah, then everything starts flowing in your business as well, right? So it's really fun, and it's very interesting to see like that all these different people, all these different manifesting generator types sign up for it, and from different phases in their business, from people who are just starting in their business to like very, very, very experienced entrepreneurs. Like, it's such a beneficial course for any manifesting generator entrepreneur, because none of us has been taught how to apply the art of responding or informing in our business. It's just like it's not taught anywhere. Nobody teaches it in the way I'm currently teaching it. So I feel like this should be like a how do you say that when something is like mandatory or something? I don't know the right word, but it's like something you just like you teach children math and language. All manifesting generators should like really learn how to apply the art of responding and informing, and especially as entrepreneurs, how to like apply that in your business, because it changes everything. It makes your marketing and business efforts not only way, way, way more effective, but way more fun. And basically, that's like our primary energy fuel for us as manifesting generators. When it's fun, we can keep on doing it. When it's not fun, our energy gets perfectly drained. So, okay, guys, have an amazing weekend, or whenever you hear this. I'll be hosting a new webinar this upcoming Tuesday. I have a new group of manifesting generator sisters, and maybe some men as well, who signed up for it. I think we're currently at 80 or 90 new people, and we still have 4 or 5 days of advertising left. So I'm very curious to see what kind of new energy we are attracting in, and I'm just so happy and grateful that I get to serve my manifesting generator sisters on this level. So have an amazing weekend. Love you, and we'll be in touch.